Hello everyone, Justin here, and today we're gonna try drawing a kitten. So let's just go ahead and get started here with a circle, and right here in the upper left will be the ear. So let's just draw kind of like an A shape, kind of big. It's a kitten, so it's a little bit younger. Another one just inside to show the inside of the ear, and then on the upper right here it's gonna be tilted this way. So let's just draw another A shape, except this is gonna be foreshortened. So instead of being this wide, it's gonna be a little bit narrower, and then you can see the back, which is indicated by this line. Okay, so this is the top of his head. So let's just flatten this side of his head a little bit, and then draw a slight curve going across. And so right here, so here's the midpoint of his face. Okay, let's just draw the midpoint of this circle, this sphere. So this is the midpoint. This in between, then right towards the middle will be the nose area. So let's just draw a couple lines. Here's the right eye, here's the left eye, and it's going to go down this way to the nose, which is now out here. So we'll just darken that a little bit. It's kind of a V shape. We'll darken that a little bit more later. So right here then, we can curve this a little bit and draw a nice curve underneath for the eye. And over here we'll do the same. So just slightly curved upper part of the eye, and underneath then will be a partial circle for the eye. Okay, and its pupil will be right here. Let's just darken that a little bit for now. So then the mouth will come out this way. Okay, so you're not going to see the far side of his muzzle as clearly as this side. Okay, and so we're going to have a row of dots that go this way for where the whiskers come off, and here on the left side, his left side. Alright, so starting just to the right of the midpoint of his mouth, right here will be the beginning of his chin, and we'll just draw a curve that goes out to the left, up a little bit, and then over. And that should pretty much be the head of this kitten. So let's continue on with the body. So here's his cheek, and then we're gonna start seeing his neck. So we'll go down a little bit and then curve out somewhat, because the shoulder starts right about here, and then continue on to the bottom. Okay, we'll go back to that. Let's go ahead and go to the other side. So he's got his hair here. Let's go ahead and indicate that right now with some lines that kind of go up a little bit, and same here. Now you could do it this way, or you could just, for now, just draw a line. We can fix that later. But anyway, I'll just go ahead and kind of start indicating that this line here is not even, but kind of broken up by different hair, clumps of hair that kind of come out. And anyway, let's just keep going down. Let's go down, straight down this time. So the total height of this kitten is going to be about 2.5 head heights. So here's one head, 2 heads, and a half. So his paws are going to be down here. So let's just go ahead and draw an oval down here, and another oval right here. And those are going to be his paws. So then his legs will kind of come up this way, and then his left leg will go up this way. Okay, so then we'll have this is part of his body here, and then his tail will come out to the right, and we'll just indicate that with a couple lines right there. And now one more thing is his back paw and we'll just make it a little bit higher than the front paw and leave it at that. So let's go ahead and make this kind of a darker kitten. So I'm going to go ahead and start shading this in. Actually, let me just kind of indicate with some broken lines right here his chest, and this area here would be kind of shadow and shadow. Same with here. Just if you were using this, if you were drawing this as a pen drawing and you weren't doing a lot of shading, you could stop right here, but we're going to do a bunch of shading here. So I'm going to start by shading in the hair up here, and this is going to be like I said, a darker cat. So I'm just going to start darkening all the dark areas, like right here. The inside of his ears are going to be lighter color. So, but there'll be some dark tones in the ear, inside the ear, of course. And I'm darkening this section here because that's the inside of his ear, but there'll be some light hair coming off the front, and that's why I'm leaving this part a little bit lighter. Okay? And you can see how I'm kind of darkening some of the outline already for the ear. And draw some hair right in here. Just a little bit of shading inside of that, inside of the ear. And I'm just gonna go ahead and continue on adding my midtones to start. And I'm keeping this somewhat uneven right here by the base of his ear because there's a lot of hair that's kind of going over there. Alright, so just a lot of midtones just to darken this whole cat fairly quickly. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is, if I continue on with putting in my midtones, I'm going to lose the details that we had put in. So just so we don't lose that, I'm going to go ahead and get my 4B lead pencil here and start darkening our details here. So here's the pupil. I'm going to start darkening the upper part of the eyeball and the outline of his eyeball. Put a little bit of shading in the iris. Really clarify this eyeball, this eye, with dark tones around it. And there's a cast shadow under the lid. Darken the pupil here and darken the lower right especially of the iris, and then darken the rest. Same thing with here. I'm going to darken the nose now more than I did earlier, and darken this line that goes on the either side of the muzzle here, and clarify the mouth now, and underneath the chin here. So now I'm going to go back to my 2B lead and start shading again. So the muzzle right here will be somewhat lighter, so I'm going to keep that somewhat lighter, darken the cheek here area and the cheek right here, and keep this muzzle part here just a little bit lighter. Of course, every cat's different colorations, and look at your reference picture. Look at what kind of pattern they have, depending on the kind of cat that you're trying to draw as well, of course. But here I'm just going to go ahead and start putting in the midtones again. So as far as putting in the shading, I'm going to try to follow the direction of the hair, and I'll try to use shorter strokes as I do this, and that just kind of helps to convey the texture of the hair, but at the same time give it color. Alright, so the hair is kind of going out this way in this direction, and I'm just going to go all the way down the leg just to give me an indication of the direction of the hair, and then go back and fill in the parts I missed. So here, continuing on with short lines, and I'm varying the pressure as well of my pencil just so I have some variation in the color and the tone as I do this, as I try to cover up this leg. And with this mechanical pencil, the more I use this pencil in one direction, the flatter the lead becomes, and you don't get these sharp thin lines like right here. So occasionally what I have to do is just turn the barrel, and I'll be able to get those sharp distinct lines again. So like right here it's kind of blurry, so I'm back to putting down some finer lines, and here, and this just kind of helps to give it more detail. And under the chin here, I'm gonna keep it kind of dark, just so I can really separate the head from the chest area. And this whole area anyway will be dark, just because there'll be a bit of a cast shadow under the head onto the chest. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do this part with my softer lead, my darker lead pencil, and just continue on. I'm gonna make certain areas a little bit darker because this particular kitten does have some color variation. And I'm just going to continue on like this and switch back to my harder lead here. And just like with his right leg, I'm going to go ahead and quickly mark the direction of his fur or his hair. So kind of just like the other leg, it's kind of going outward first up here, and then it starts to kind of point down towards the toes, towards the feet. Again, short lines, and I'm starting to fill in all the gaps here. Again, varying the pressure just so there's some variety, and it kind of gives it more form as well, because when the hair is on the kitten, it's not laying flat unless, say, the owner just brushed them out, and so everything's even and level and smooth. Otherwise the hair is just going all over the place. So we want to kind of convey that same feeling, alright, by varying the tones. Alright, so just keep going down here. Alright, so now I'm here by the belly, and this whole thing here will be in shadow. I'm going to switch back to my softer lead here, just so I can separate the legs from the belly. And again, initially I was just like right here, I'm just filling in the tones very quickly, and then I go back to using short pencil lines, just like that, and that should be good enough right there. So back to my 2B lead and fill in this area. And I'm gonna keep this chest part a little bit lighter, so I'm not gonna cover the whole thing, as if he has lighter hair right here in the chest. So continuing on, I'm not gonna have really great separation between the front leg and the back leg here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just, as far as the tonal values will be about the same. So I'm just gonna try to keep the back leg more of a solid color or value, and not use so much those short distinct pencil strokes that are used for the front leg. Alright, so now back here, up here, I'll go ahead and start using some shorter strokes. This part right here, if you can tell, is very monotonous. No change in the value yet. So here I'm gonna go ahead and start adding more pencil strokes, starting just underneath the ear and just going over the same lines, except I'm gonna vary where I add these lines, just so the texture here starts to vary a bit. Alright, so let's look at this eye. The brow continues on out to the side, so there'll be like kind of a darker area under the brow right here. So I'm going over it again and adding more lines right here, just so it looks a little bit more interesting, and add a kind of a dark band right here that goes towards the muzzle, towards the nose. And here, this is where I'm adding some of the detail for this particular kitten. So he's got these dark spots that kind of go up, and then the hair here is actually a little bit darker, and I'm gonna try to put in some finer pencil strokes here by adjusting the barrel of my pencil so I can get some sharper lines. Don't know if you can see that, and here as well. Okay, I don't want these outlines here to be too distinct the way I had initially done, so I'm gonna soften them up a bit by adding more of a gradient right next to it so it doesn't stick out too far. We have this whole area that's kind of, it's soft the way we drew it, and for this to be so dark kind of is a little bit jarring, so I'm trying to soften that up a bit. But overall, you want, it's a kitten, so it's supposed to be cute, cuddly, blah blah blah, and so you want it to look cute and cuddly, and that means no harsh lines, softer technique, and this is how I try to do it. Definitely try different techniques. And here's the back foot now, back paw, and I'll just darken the bottom part a little bit here, just to kind of roughly indicate that there's a paw there. Same with here. And I will just use short pencil strokes here to darken it a bit, and then a few darker lines here to separate the toes a little bit here. You don't have to go into too much detail here, and it helps to kind of keep things soft and gentle, I guess. So we'll do the same thing here. Here this time I'm going to separate the toes first. Alright, maybe darken the upper part of this paw, and then fill in our midtones for the paw. maybe darken these dark tones a little bit more to the level of the ear here, the dark tones up there. Alright, and we're almost done here. We're gonna do the tail, and again short lines that follow the lengthwise direction of the tail, and I'm gonna make this a little bit darker. So short lines, lighter on top, some kind of coming out away from the tail, and darken it that way. And this part's going to be pretty dark here, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in quickly, and then go back to my short lines right here and change the direction of my pencil again so I can get some fine lines, distinct lines. Alright, so now finally I'm gonna add some whiskers, and these are gonna be white whiskers, but I'm gonna just use my pencil and just kind of indicate them like this, a few, and I'm gonna clarify some of the dots here on his cheek as well. Just add some small dots, same with on this side, and then add the whiskers on the right side here, his left cheek. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you got something out of this little tutorial, and I will see you at the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day. Bye.